Derek Wilson of Variom Racing. Matt, I have been dying to catch up with you today. I was absolutely glued to the screen. I told you I was yelling at my screen at my daughter's volleyball practice saying, come on, Matt, push, Matt, come on. And they may have thought I was watching a live birth on my phone. So, Stardust, man, you got the Holeshot. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a little bit different for me. I was pretty excited. That motor from Bart Thomas did what it was supposed to finally. I think it would have done it before, but a little bit of user error might have messed it up. But I got it, I think, dialed in, pulled great. Beat Randy Hamilton to the first and second corner, which is pretty cool. He's gotten the last 3 Holeshots and quite a few over his career, so I was pretty happy about that. And just set into an early lead, and I was having a blast.
For those of us that know you and watch you race, I think it's no secret that you've struggled with Holeshots, and I think that's a really good example of where you're going, Matt, and what you're doing, because you're at a very high level, and at this point, a lot of it's the little things that grow into something bigger for improvement. Do you agree on that? Would you agree that your Holeshot hopefully is potentially gone to that level?
I hope so. I hope I can get started in the top 5 every time. That makes things so much easier on you, so much less stressful when you can start out front or at least close to it and just ride your race. I mean, the first few miles I was riding my own race, and I actually started to pull a little bit on them, and then I figured, well, I better not get too carried away. This is a 2-hour race. I don't want to exhaust myself or anything, so I kind of just backed off a little bit and just rode with those guys, raced with those guys pretty much the whole day, really.
For those that aren't real familiar with cross-country ATV racing, there are no practice laps. These guys don't know what's around the next corner, around the next bend. So you found yourself out front. That's not something you usually do. What was it like being out front? I mean, were you kind of wondering what goes through your mind at that point in time?
Oh, no, it was awesome. I loved it. It was, over the years you get to be a little bit better with it, and you can react quick enough and everything. I loved it, and it was much easier with the new front end setup and everything. So much more confident, and it handled so much better and everything. That first lap was much easier than normally for me trying to pick through 10 or 15 guys.
Oh, that had to feel great. So you kind of laid off a little bit to put a little back in the tank in reserves. Tell us about the rest of the race. Take us through the middle of the race. Every race has a story, so I know you've got a couple things that went on.
Yeah, I got the Holeshot, led for a good half to 3/4 of the first lap, and then Wesley Wolf had caught up to me, and I picked a different line and pointed him to the other one, let him around, and figured I would follow him. I knew he was fast. He won the last one. He won one last year. I mean, he's a guy to stay behind and learn and run with, and so I let him around and hung with him for a little while. Well, we got in a tight wood section. It was kind of swampy and muddy, and he actually got himself hung up, and I was right on his tail, so I ended up getting hung up because he was stuck, and I got really stuck because then I had lost all my momentum right behind him. So that held me up for a minute, and that led Greg and Randy around, and so then that put me all the way back into 4th at the end of the first lap and started the second lap, and so I ran with Randy and Greg the whole rest of the race. We all raced each other, and then Cody Collier came up for a little while and was up there racing with us, and so us, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, we all just traded back and forth. I mean, multiple times per lap positions, and I mean, I was all the way back up to 2nd place at least 3 or 4 times in the race, and then back to 5th, and we were all just around everywhere. Little mistakes here or there. Walker Fowler said it afterwards. That track was pretty unforgiving, and so it was rough. It was fast, so loamy, and there was definitely still some tight technical sections that kind of had a little bit of everything. And
it sounds really fun to be in the mix, to a 4 or 5 quad swapping spots. And I know at that point in time, you're working really hard. Your focus has to be on point. Your choices have to be good. And I don't know if it feels fun at the moment. You know, I don't think I've ever been in that type of race outside of the dirt track, but it's got to be a lot of fun. But tell us at the moment of swapping spots. I mean, can you remember what goes through your head? Are you very precise? Are you looking for different lines?
Yeah, it's through the whole middle part, I wasn't really looking for anything. I was just staying with those guys. I didn't want to lose them, make too many mistakes. I made a few mistakes that held me up, but I was able to close back in on them. But I'm not really looking for anything. I just wanted to hang with them until the last lap, and that's what I did. It was just little mistakes by all of us that ended up swapping positions so many times throughout the laps. And it was just, it was a lot of fun. I've never been in a race with that many people for that long.
And at that level.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's a whole new experience at that level. I mean, it was pushing pretty much 100% for the full 4 laps. I mean, it was nonstop. We were all just pushing, and then the last lap, Greg, Randy, and I were pushing really hard. We had lost to Cody Coyer, and Wesley was way out front, and we were all 3 battling bumper to bumper. I mean, we were really pushing for that. We're going for that number 2 spot that Randy was in, and we all had little mistakes, and Greg ended up having a big enough one that I got around him, and me and Randy put a good gap on him, and I was trying to make a move on him through the tighter woods, and I couldn't get it done. I thought I had a pretty good opportunity in the open, and right before we hit the last open section, I made a bad mistake on my part that held me up, and so I wasn't able to close in on him and try and make that pass, but I think I had a shot at it. I just messed it up, but you live and learn.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I know a lot of racers out there will be able to buy into that story, understand. Coming across the finish line, it's always somewhat of a relief. And I know you've been working a lot. How did you feel physically?
Completely 100% exhausted. I was completely smoked. It was all I could do to push through that last lap and get it done. It was very hot and humid. First one of the year, not used to it because the weather hasn't been all that warm around. I've been busy with work, so there has been zero training for me besides racing that LMA last weekend, and it was rough for me the last lap. I had to really dig deep, and so I want to get a little bit more training, and hopefully once the work slows down, I think it'll be a little better. But I was happy. I mean, I really was hoping for that second position, but I was hoping I could get it done, but just couldn't quite. I pushed as hard as I can, so I was happy with it, and especially coming off of riding multiple different quads at GNCC this year, completely different suspension setups, motors, handlebars. I mean, the whole 9 yards is all different. And then getting this new setup that I bolted on hours before we left. I didn't get to do any testing, didn't get a ride. I mean, the first time riding it was out front, and after I got the Holeshot, I mean, that was the first time I put on the shocks, and so they worked great, but it was just all new, little tweaking here and there. I think I can get them even better.
Catching up with you, it's great to hear you got some excitement, and that's really good to hear. I mean, I can feel it. I felt it while I was watching the screen yelling on my phone. But coming off an OMA win, taking a Holeshot, the GNCC XC2, and pulling it in to the checkers in third place, Matt, that's impressive. So I want to make sure you put that into perspective. I'm certainly not going to let you forget it.
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm definitely happy with it. Like I said, after the OMA, I put in a ride there that I was a lot more pleased with. Just the way I rode myself, I was a lot happier with. And then I'm happy with my ride today. It's not satisfied, but I'm definitely happy with it. It is a step in the right direction after I had a good run in Florida, and then after that I've kind of been in a slump and not been able to get a whole lot done or had problems or whatever. So it's good to get back on the right track with these last two.
No, I know the Matt Lindle, and he's pretty hard on himself. And I know you've probably already been thinking, how could I have done better? what are you going to focus on these next couple weeks?
Well, as much as I can, depending on work, is training. That's going to be a big thing. Getting the training time in, but going through the machine, making sure everything's ready for the next one. Talking with Bart at Shockworks and just doing a little tweaking to the shock. I was amazed at how well he had it set up straight from him. Took him out of the
knows what he's doing, huh?
Yeah, and after shipping to me and I bolted them on, didn't make any adjustments or nothing, and they were good. So I think we can make them even better though. So that's one thing I'm going to work on, and then just like I said, training and checking everything over. I got little things throughout the race that I know I can do better, but.
And you've got the A-arms coming from Hauser Racing, who's helping you out with those. So things are really looking good. Really looking good.
I'm hoping so.
You know, you had a great looking shirt on that podium. I mean, I'm sure everybody noticed it. That blazing white shirt. It was beautiful, man.
Yeah, I figured I better run back to the trailer and grab my shirt and my hat. So I did after we got done and get cleaned up a little bit and grabbed those and figured it'd look good.
You did look good. So Variom's out racing again. Andrew Remley's going to take to the mud tomorrow, and I went and watched Randa's co-workers run it in Moline. That was a good time. Matt, thanks for being a leader. Thanks for going out and leaving it all on the track. It's good to hear from you because I get that sense that you left it all on the track.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did. I was pushing pretty hard.
A lot of great things to look forward to, and we'll share this with the Variom guys and everybody else out there that wants to hear. You got a lot of following. You got a lot of help. Let's make sure you mention those people that are helping you be this successful.
Yeah, definitely. First and foremost, family. Couldn't be doing what I am without them and all their help. They do a lot for me. My girlfriend does a lot for me. You guys at Variom itself, Tri-State Trucking, Gold Speed Wheels, GBC Tires, Bart Shockworks with the motor and suspension, Hauser Racing, MSR, Vanilla Gorilla, DP Brakes, 100% Goggles, Spider Graphics, Precision Steering Stabilizers.
That's an impressive list. I think I say it every time. Good job. I know it's not easy when you're not standing at your quad looking at it. I want to make sure everybody knows these Variom quads have space for your company and your business. And, Matt's out there putting up wins and taking hole shots and getting noticed. Now, I haven't been able to see it yet because I couldn't find it, but Jamie Weckel tells me when he was watching it live, boy, that you got your TV time.
Yeah, that's what I was told also. I had a couple of texts after the race that said I got a fair amount of racer TV time during the live broadcast, so that was cool.
I do sure hope we can find that, so keep an eye out because I need to see that. I was glued to the scoring, which I thought you guys, 'cause I guess I didn't know any better. Great job, Matt. It's great to hear you feel good, sound good. I appreciate you letting us feed off of that and roll into our season with you. So, Matt, get home safe, drive safe, and I'll personally be catching up with you very soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Bye-bye.